Greetings, chat. My goodness, I am so pleased. Do you know how much I missed video replies? Ugh. I mean, I don't really like the debate me bro mentality. I moved past that. But I gotta say, every now and then you have to take some of the small guilty pleasures in life. Reminds me of better times. You know, times when academic agent was ANCAP agent. Like he was really like the debate me bro mentality. Way too liberal for me, right? Just like way too liberal. Like even I was like, dude, this is toxic liberalism. I remember like talking to him, and he was like, but V, why should the government decide who gets to be a doctor or not? Like, why do you need a license to practice medicine? And it was at that moment that I hesitated, and I generally didn't know what to say. It's like, yes, why should the government have monopoly on who gets to be Dr. Fauci? It's a good thing, you know. Like, at the time, I didn't know. But now I see the wisdom in his ways. I want to get a time machine and just reach out into the past and get that academic agent into the present. It's like, come on. I need you on my side. But yeah. He made a video response. 40 minutes long. I don't think I can respond to that on my channel. I haven't seen it yet, right? So we're going to respond to it live. I'm not mean-spirited, by the way. Like, it's not like I feel insulted or that I think that you should be vanquished. No, it's just like bewildering. Again, like, I genuinely don't understand why would a right-winger support a leftist government that has like a boner, like a thick, massive, thick British cock, just waiting to censor his ideology and everything he stands for, right? Like, when you go as a British on Twitter and you say, I support Keir Starmer, like, I don't view, like, you know, it's not like Keir Starmer gets empowered because you support him. I mean, theoretically he does, right? Like, every single person counts. But, like, realistically speaking, you know, if I manage to change academic agent's mind and say, academic, stop supporting the Starmer. Stop it. Stop, right? If I say that, it doesn't change anything. Is it quiet, though? Oh, my goodness. Ah, shit. All right. Is it better, chat? Okay, so I need to remember 3 dots for videos. Apparently 5 dots for OBS. Yes, like OBS and the video editing software that I use different volumes. Yeah, I embarrass myself. You know, I feel like Sargon responding to Mr. Medicare. Do I get back from the top? Huh? Am I going to stream GamesCon? I don't even know what the fuck that is. Do you guys need it louder? All right, well, let's try this, huh? Is it better now? Can you hear it now? It's still quiet. I mean, I can put it to the max, but then you guys will complain. Who gifted me this microphone? I don't know if I should be grateful or not. Because, like, this is a new microphone that I got. And it wasn't a pinch. Like, my microphone died after 6 years. And it wasn't a Friday. So, like, a subscriber donated me the money to buy a new microphone. And I got this. And it's kind of good. But, like, it has problems, as you can see. All right. So apparently it's good now, right? And now, as I was saying, right, like academic agent, I used to call him ANCAP agent, and the reason I called him ANCAP agent is because I was on a stream with him. We were doing streams back then, and he basically asked me a question. It's like, why should the government anoint doctors? Why should the government have a monopoly on who gets to be Dr. Fauci? And I froze that moment, you know, I was like, whoa, like, this guy is way too liberal, like, way more permissive than I am. But now I'm thinking, you know what if he was right, though? Like, why should the government decide who Dr. Fauci is? Why can't it be like a free market? You know, treat people based on their merits. Like, let's live dangerously. You know, you either go to the quack or you go to the surgeon based on how many people the surgeon has treated. I kid, of course, but like I still wish that I had a time machine to reach out and grab that academic agent from the past and rip him into the present, like bring him into the present to show him the horror of what he has become. No, but like seriously though, as I mentioned, I'm not upset at the academic agent. Like, this is not a video that I make out of malice. It's just puzzling. Like, I'm literally trying to understand why a human being, which according to the Bible should be capable of rational thought, is supporting one of the most leftist governments in human existence, ruled by Keir Starmer, and you know that government, like, it's not even the concept, I want my friends to be in power. Like, unless he's friends with Keir Starmer, then I would understand. But, like, they are literally de facto censoring right-wing thought on the internet, and he's like, you know what? I support that. I can't make sense of that. Like, I'm looking at it puzzled, all right? Doesn't upset me, doesn't annoy me. Like, I don't think that if I change academics agent's mind tomorrow, like, anything changes. It's not that, it's just bewildering, it's baffling. We have a story in Romania, The Stupidity of Mankind, by Ion Krang. And the story is like a man that was trying to put a cow onto the attic, because in the attic there was hay, right? And rather than putting the hay down, like, he was trying to put a rope, tie it around the cow's neck, and like trying to put it into the attic. There was another man that had a house without windows, and he was like trying to use a bucket in order to capture the sun so he can have light in the house. Like, people like that. And you gotta wonder, it's like, why do they behave that way, though? Like what makes a man behave in such a manner? It's like you're supporting a government that wants to censor your ass, and you're like, you know what? Like, this is good regulation. And it's not like some people told me that I'm strawmanning. It's like, he doesn't support it. He just tells it how it's happening. It's like, no. He was very clear. He used the word support next to Keir Starmer. I'm not claiming he's a leftist. I'm claiming he's a right-winger supporting leftist policy. That's what baffles my brain, okay? Like, I'm not saying he's a communist. What I am saying, that as a right-winger supporting one of the most leftist governments in Britain with one of their initiatives that's meant to keep them in power, just baffles my mind, and I'm struggling to understand it. I'm not condemning him. I'm not upset. I'm like, it is what it is. But, like, look, right? When I see this post, like right here, can you guys see it on the screen? Can you see it? Let me show you. Hold on. Here we go, right? I back Starmer on this. The British government must reserve the right to find American companies who operate here. In other words, right? He's a YouTuber. He's using an American company. And he wants his government to find YouTube in order to impose the leftist speech on YouTube. Right? So, like, for instance, talks against immigration. Talks against Islam. Legal but harmful speech. That's what Ofcom is saying. And he's basically stating, yes, I want my government to do that. Like, I want my government to regulate the platform that I am using, knowing that my government is a leftist government, and a lot of the stuff I say, they don't like. Especially after you saw what happened with Brazil, right? Like, Brazil, what did they want? They want journalists and activists to be censored on X without X actually telling them that the government did this. I mean, I'm willing to bet, I can put money on this, that Sargon Akkad was demonetized at the behest of the British government. But it is what it is, like, if this, I don't understand. Like, if you're a fan of Academic Agent, I'm not telling you shouldn't be, but it's like, maybe you can tell me what this is, and I don't get it. Like, he doubled down on this, right? I mean, okay, I'm not saying he's a leftist. Just so you understand, like, no, he's a right-winger supporting leftism. This is what baffles me, because if he was a leftist, I would understand, right? Like, if Hassan Piker came out tomorrow and he supported the British government, I would be like, okay, makes sense. If Vosh did it, I would be like, checks, kind of checks, right? Like, I mean, but when I see a right-winger do it, I'm puzzled. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway. He is a contrarian. But, like, even a contrarian, like, requires a platform in order to contrarian, right? Like, you can't be a contrarian if you don't have a platform. So, like, again, it's out of self-preservation, out of self-interest. Like, this goes beyond ideology. Now, if he had the job in the British government, or if he was a friend with like, a British senator, I would get it. But, like, we don't have that. Anyway, right. People change under pressure. Is that what you think it is? He's not saying the law is good. He literally is saying that the law is good. He is literally saying, right? No, like, listen. You cannot accuse me of straw manning, right? Like, we can ask the AI, like, let's get an arbiter. You know what? If you accuse me of straw manning, you don't like the AI, all right. You know what? Fuck it. Let's make donations. Let's gather $500, and we can go out in the world and find an arbiter. You know, like someone that actually does this for a living. And we can show him this, and we can ask him, do you think that this person supports Keir Starmer? When literally he says, I back Starmer on this. The British government must reserve the right to find American companies, right? You're reading this, and you're saying, no, he's not supporting it. I disagree. No, I vehemently disagree, unless, like, my grasp of English language has been lost. In which case, all right, fine, let's gather some cash. Let's find an arbiter, you know, like someone that finished law school and is doing arbitration, and we can ask a third party. Or just ask the AI, or whatever the fuck you want, you know, like find someone that doesn't have a horse in this race, and let's see what they say, because I think they will agree with me. I'm pretty certain that no person on earth reading this is going to come up with the conclusion that, yes, academic agent doesn't actually support this law. Come on. Look, I understand how the debate me bro works. I understand, you know, using straw man like it's some magician's jutsu, and all of a sudden you won the argument, but, you know, like this is a little bit too much of a slam dunk for me. Not if they are operating in British jurisdiction. Okay, so, television, right? Like, if I'm in Britain, and I can watch American television from Britain, does that mean that Britain should be able to dictate to American networks what they're allowed to do? If I'm in Britain and I listen to Radio Free Europe, right? Like I get the radio waves from there. Does that mean that Britain should legislate what Germany is publishing on radio? If I'm in Britain and let's say there's a theater in France playing a Shakespearean play, and British people like travel the canal and they go in France and they watch the play. Should the British people like legislate? Like come on, you know, like what is it with this argument? And even if they can't you say that they're pieces of shit for fucking doing it and it's immoral? I mean, sure, you know, the Soviet Union can create famines and gulags, but that doesn't mean that I have to agree with it. You know, like, okay, yes, like, they can muscle people and they can, you know, show that they have strength to do it. But that doesn't mean that I need to kiss their fucking butt and suck their cock while at it, you know? Like, come on. Like, why is it my personal interest when I'm a content creator on a social media platform that they want to censor? Why exactly would I want them to do it? What was wrong with the internet last year? What was wrong with the internet 2 years ago? Why exactly do things have to change? And if they have to change, why? Like, is it inevitable? Is it like the will of God? You know, like, just so you know, the government used to have wiretapping laws. Like, it is possible to actually have policies that defend your interests. Holy shit. Chat. The fuck are we doing? Zlixian. May all censors be censored from life. Well, you know, like, this is the only time that I agree with censorship. It's like with other censors. Well, actually, there's more. We'll get into that in a bit. But it is one of the many ones. If a service is going to operate in a nation, then yes, a country can and should enforce their own laws. Okay, so again, like, I get to see the BBC, right? So according to you, Europe should start censoring every type of British media imaginable, including the internet. I mean, hell, right now, like, the Trump administration is upset with Britain, right? So they should start demanding that BBC gets shut down, and that, why is BBC collecting money from people and the program? Like, actually, didn't the BBC, like, show programs that were negative to Donald Trump? Like, America should fine BBC for that. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. No, they shouldn't, okay? Now, of course, they can try, and I'm pretty sure they will succeed on the short term, but on the long run, it just causes public spite, disdain, and disgust, and eventually people find workarounds, And they will treat British people the way they need to be treated, walled off from the civilized society. Dios mío. This is why they even do it. These legislations are now coming in Australia, in Canada, and in America, like all at the same time, because they know they're massively unpopular. Like, normal people don't like that shit. You know, it's just going to drive people to offline AI. Like, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have a future where your children are not going to use the internet because they're not cretins. Like, they don't want to get arrested for a joke. And so they're going to use AI offline to generate whatever pornography and not safe for work shit they want, and to also have all types of discussions and conversations that they can't have online. And that's going to be the future, you know, that this type of legislation is going to create isolated people with their own chatbots, you know, their own virtual Grok Annie AI, because the internet is going to be dumb and boring. With very few people there, probably Academic Agent and some of his subscribers. Anyway, let's actually listen to the video, because I ranted a little bit too much. What is it? I think this is the one, right? Okay, let's listen to it. Let me know if the sound is coming.
Well, hello everyone. Yesterday I made a video on Ofcom versus 4chan, or Keir Starmer's government's attempts to regulate 4chan, which created an almighty hullabaloo. Hundreds and hundreds of comments. Lots of people very upset. There were people like, oh, I've been watching you for 10 years. Unsubscribed. Can't believe this. Have you lost your mind, AA? Have you gone mad?
Are these my numbers? Oh, no, never mind. They're his. I was actually scared for a little bit, because I made a video as well, and I thought that, Jesus, was my take. How's the audio coming? Huh? Is the audio coming well? Alright, we'll leave it at that then. Let me see if I can pop out the chat so I can have you guys while watching. I can't call him ANCAP agent now. Shit. Like, I need a new name for him. I can't, you know, like, I don't want to be mean and be like alcoholic agent, because, you know, like, he's drunk when he's saying that. No. Like, I need something that actually reflects on the type of person, on his type of ideology. I'll have to think about it, right? But still, I can't call him ANCAP agent now.
Mad. V, Romanian V, if you remember him, he made a video called What's Happened to Academic Agent, where he was asking the question, how is it that I went from my libertarian views from 10 years ago to coming out and saying that I support the principle of the government being sovereign in matters like this. And I think such was the hullabaloo that I'm going to do this response both to V and a lot of the comments.
Equipe de tradiție.
We got commercials. Yeah, see, the problem is that it's not about British sovereignty. Like, if you want to block a website, fucking block a website, right? But you're trying to police the internet of mankind. Like what Britain is saying, that there should be no website on planet Earth that has one British citizen accessing it without that website bending the knee to Ofcom. Like, I'm sorry, but like, by this logic, and as I said in that video, if Elon Musk colonizes Mars and Mars has internet, then some fucked-up island on the planet Earth is going to complain. It's like, oh, 20,000 pounds! 20,000 pounds a day! You need to pay 20,000 pounds, Martians! You have websites that we don't like. Like, okay, what about everyone else's sovereignty then? Right? Like, why can't the Romanian government, let's say, okay, the Romanian government wants to make a Romania-sponsored website with shit that Britain doesn't like. You know, they talk about immigration. And it's Romanian-made, you know, sovereignty of the Romanian nation. And you're basically saying, well, no, because then Britain isn't sovereign. So, like, Britain has to tell Romania. Like, that doesn't work, right? Like, you can police your own borders. You can have common sense, like China or Iran. You know, like China or Iran, they also police their borders. But they police their borders. Like, I from Romania can make a website where I shit on the Tiananmen Square and call Chairman Z Winnie the Pooh. And they don't come after me. Right? Like, that's the fucking difference. Now, this is about principle. It's not whether or not they can do it. Like, I'm pretty sure they can do it, right? Like, if behind the scenes, people from various governments with interest in grifting, and they're like, you know what would be a great idea? Like, if we can harvest data from citizens, if we can monitor everything they do, if we can have dossiers on every individual, if we can train our AI based on people preferences so that we can sell advertisements to them, if we can basically shut down any type of uprising or any type of unrest before it happens, if we can control people, yeah, like I'm pretty sure, like if higher ups from governments like get together, they can enact this and make it happen. But that's not what we're talking about. Like if it's possible or if it would work. We're talking like if it's moral and if it actually benefits us. I don't see how it benefits us, right? So if it doesn't benefit us, why would you support it? This is what I don't understand, right? Like it's a problem of understanding. It's not that I don't see why anyone would support it. I just don't see why a right-winger would support it. Jacob Andrew. This conservative from Media that I know, who was very against green energy, was found out to be investing massively in green energy, made 10,000 euros. Well, this is how politics are done in Romania, right? And we're going to talk about it when the video comes to that point. But like, if you're basically saying, look, green energy is bad, but people insist on it, it's like, well, I'm going to grift as well. Like, why wouldn't I grift? You know, I'm not going to be the retard, the only retard on earth that doesn't grift. It's like, look, I wanted the grift to stop, but it came anyway. Well, if it's here, it is what it is. You know, I did my best. Another thing with V using Schmidt. See, this is exactly the type of European politics that are beyond Schmidt. Right? Like the Romanian Chad here, the guy that was against green energy, but then started grifting off it. This is real politics, okay? This is politics for adults. You can have a person that's your enemy and you can still work with them, right? Like, for instance, if Hassan Piker tomorrow says, V, I don't like this whole ID bullshit. I think Britain is a shitty place. I don't like it. And I would be like, Hassan, my friend, let's do a collab. I will give you my platform of 160 people. And we will join forces against these assholes. The next day, I have Academic Agent. And Academic Agent is telling me, V, I don't like what Hassan Piker is doing on Twitch. He asked for censorship. And I'll be like, okay, well, Academic Agent, let's talk. Let's discuss what we're going to do against Hassan Piker. This is the politics of pragmatic people, of individuals that understand the world. It's called issue politics. What is my issue? My issue is that I fucking hate censors. I despise them. It's not that I don't think censorship shouldn't exist. Obviously it should. But there is a level between locking people in their houses and telling them they can't sunbath and having the police arrest little girls for singing rap lyrics and policing the internet over kiddie porn. You know, like I think like these two can be separated and I think we can live in a world of some balance. Right? And this whole idea of friend enemy, right? You can't ally with Hassan because he's an enemy. So yeah, but he's got like a platform of several million people. And if I can use him to spite someone I dislike, I will. Same thing with Anita Sarkeesian. Like apparently she's on the side of the gamers now. Yeah, absolutely. I would promote Anita Sarkeesian to go into The Guardian and mock Collective Shout or whomever the fuck. I don't fucking care. It's funny. At the end of the day, it's hilarious. See, this is what people like Academic Agent don't understand. It's not that I want to be left alone. I mean, I do want to be left alone, but I realize it's not possible, right? And so I don't care about like a package of ideas, an ideology or anything. No. I care who's fucking with me right now and who are the people that you hate. And I am willing to ally with the people that you hate until you stop fucking with me. And then I'm willing to ally with the people that they hate so they stop fucking with me. Now, I'm not just one person. Believe it or not, this is the majority of people, right? This is why the woke is falling. This is why the woke got into power. Literally this. You have hundreds of millions of people that want to be left alone, right? Like most normal people do not get involved into politics the level we do. Like we're actually autistic here, right? Like we're not normal. Believe it or not, we're not normal. Like most people don't talk about politics as much as we do, right? Most people, they have a job, they wake up in the morning, they go to the job, they do their work, they come home, do shopping, go to bed, right? That's a normal person. Sometimes they fuck, sometimes they care about their family. Normal people want to be left alone. Sometimes someone fucks with them. You know, a feminist comes over, says that their father is into rape culture. They don't like that shit. And so what do? Well, they support stuff feminists hate. You know, they start donating money to people that dislike feminists. They start purchasing from companies that are against feminism. They boycott stuff that promotes feminism. And there's hundreds of millions of those people, right? And eventually the movement collapses. I know people that supported the transgender movement simply out of spite for feminism. They didn't care about any of the politics. They didn't care about any of the ideology or anything. It's like, no, this hurts women. Women have been bad against me. I will support this. Third Flinging Monkey is one of these examples, right? Like, Third Flinging Monkey supported the transgender movement. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, he identified as a woman. Not because he believes he's a woman, but because he was in California and said, like, okay, this gives me legal protection. So it's easy. I can just change my ID. And if anyone bitches, I can go to HR and I can get anyone off my back, right? And so the reason that he supported feminism, the reason that he supported transgenderism is because it was against feminism. It pisses feminists off, right? Like, he had bad experiences with the feminist ideology, got banned from YouTube. And so he decided that, okay, I'm going to support this because it pisses them off. This is why this is beyond Carl Schmitt. Like, Carl Schmitt can't wrap his mind around that shit. Right? It's like, well, it's a transgender person. Like, the trans activist, it's not your friend, it's an enemy, right? Like, Carl Schmitt is confused all of a sudden. He just doesn't understand what the fuck is happening. You know, just like Carl Schmitt didn't understand why the British people are allying with the Soviet Union. He was so fucking confused that day. He just didn't get why is Churchill allying with the Soviet Union? Hold on a little bit. Like, the Soviet Union invaded Poland as well. Right? Like, they're capitalists. Those are communists. What's going on? Like, why are they allying? Friend, enemy, that doesn't work. Okay, it's called real politics. All right? That's why the Nazis lost. The politics of contempt is something that many people don't understand, but it exists. Like, it's demonstrably true. A lot of the policies that we have and a lot of the cultural shifts that we have cannot be explained by logic. They don't make any sense. The people that supported them get hurt by them. But they exist. And so they must be noted down. The politics of contempt are very real. I could claim my layoff was transphobic. Well, that's literally what he did. Third Flinging Monkey called himself a masculine presenting lesbian. Some people have no idea how bad feminism was 10 years ago. Yes, exactly. I don't think, like, people don't have any idea. I think, like, people just forgot. But, like, for the ones of us that paid attention and that were in the culture war, I was like, yeah, no, what Third Flinging Monkey is doing is absolutely based. Anyway, right, let's listen to the video. I'll have to play it on double the speed. I hope you guys can follow it up because it is 40 minutes long. And if I was to respond to a 40 minutes video, like, this entire live stream would probably end up being 2 or 3 hours. So hopefully it's not going to sound too bad on twice the speed.
So I've actually prepared, I've got a list of things we're going to cover here. One, I want to have a look at the brief history of censorship in this country, because one of the recurring comments was, or one of the comments was, the thing is, AA, you just don't understand Anglo liberty because you're brown. Because you're brown.
Okay, so basically they're accusing him of being a Persian. I don't accuse him of being a Persian, I accuse him of worse. I accuse him of being a Brit in 2025, like, that's, ugh. Again, like, if you're proud to be British in 2025, like, no offense, at least the Iranians have the common sense and basic human decency to only censor within their borders. Right? Like, you don't have, like, the Iranians complaining about what websites British people use. And so, like, if you're like, oh, I'm a British, but like, that's worse. Honestly, it is.
this was one.
I guess, like, you could say at least you're not German, but, like, at this point, the Germans aren't trying to censor the fucking internet. Again, like, the Germans are censoring their own shit. Sure, you know, like, when the European Union Act passes, like, then we can discuss. But even that, like, it's not a German thing, it's a European thing. And I've been talking against the European Union for a decade now, so at least I'm still consistent.
One of the arguments. I'm going to tackle that. Second thing I'm going to look at, and the second most common theme was on where the internet is actually located. Okay, and the third thing, I'm going to talk about that. And the third thing was something that V mentioned, where he mentioned Schmidt and the friend-enemy distinction. And
I think I already talked about that, right? It's not that I think that Schmidt is wrong. I think he's incomplete and childish, right? Like the idea of saying, oh, well, this person is an enemy and therefore I don't engage with them, like, do not make sense in real politics. Like, sometimes if you want to actually win on an issue, you have to ally with enemies and people that you dislike. That's what grown-ups do. It happens all the fucking time. There are multiple examples in history why people that are rigid and refuse to make concessions or refuse to see past tribalism end up failing. If you know your interests and you know what you want, you will play by issue politics. You will not play by the identity politics nonsense.
I'll talk a little bit about that. Suffice to say that V obviously doesn't quite understand what is meant by Schmidt, and V himself, whether he likes it or not, does not actually escape the friend-enemy distinction in his own politics, and I'll explain more about all of that.
Like, this is another thing. I don't think academic agent is an enemy, right? I think he's inconsequential. Like, even if I change his mind, it's not going to change anything, right? The reason that I'm even making the video is because he is bewildering, right? Like, I'm trying to understand where he's coming from. I'm trying to understand his mindset. I don't think he's a friend, and I don't think he's an enemy. Then, like, don't get me wrong, like, there are people that I consider enemies, it's just that he's not one of them.
When we get there, okay? Pick up a course at the academic agency, buy it now, the Trivium, and many other big courses available. So, for this first section, what I'm going to be looking at, so part of my argument was that this has always happened. With technology, when technology changes, or when the system of communication changes, the regulations then catch up, okay? And,
but, like, you have, like, normal regulations, and you have batshit insane shit. And not only that, it's like, sometimes you have regulations that actually favor you. Like, for example, in the United States, right? Like, you actually have free speech in the Constitution, but, like, let's move behind that. You have laws against wiretapping. Like, our ancestors actually gave a shit about privacy, and they came to the conclusion that the government listening to someone's phone without a warrant is illegal. Now sure, you know, like, you can basically say that, you want more regulation, and so, like, my question would be, well, what should be the limit? You know, like, why shouldn't the police officer break into your house right now to see if you don't have drugs? Maybe you do have drugs, right? Like, how can they know if they don't check? Like this is not a good line of thinking, right? It's like, oh, well, everything needs to be regulated. Okay, but, like, how much? I was told in a previous video, I watched this video, he was basically saying, well, having a seatbelt. Like, having a seatbelt in a car means that the freedom people have lost that battle. Well, not really, because, like, for instance, in Romania, it's only the driver that needs to have a seatbelt, and taxi drivers and Uber drivers don't have to wear it, driving instructors don't have to wear it, pregnant women don't have to wear it. Like, it's basically there were negotiations, right? Like, people actually said, no, hold on a little bit, like, your regulations are unreasonable, let's find something of a common ground. But if you really want an example about the cars, when cars were invented, they actually created a huge problem with the shit industry. So, like, the shit industry was a group of people that would collect the horse feces from the streets during the night. Okay? And they were paid really well. Like, we had an army of people just walking down London streets and making sure that they pick up every single bit of horse feces, right, in order to clean up the streets. And those people went out of a business when the cars came up, right? And they did a lot of lobbying in order to crack down on cars. That and multiple other reasons. But, like, basically there was an incident where, like early vehicles, they were very slow, as most people know. But they were slow when driving straight. When driving down a valley, well, they could pick up even 50 kilometers of speed, which at the time it was astonishing. They hit a bunch of kids. Why? Well, because kids at the time didn't know that they shouldn't play in the street. Because like what would happen is that they would see a carriage, and okay, carriage comes up, they move. They didn't expect an automobile at 50 kilometers an hour, okay? That caused a massive scandal. And that's when you get red flag laws. Americans, have you ever heard the expression red flag laws? Do you know why it's called a red flag law? Let me see if I can find it on Wikipedia, because it's absolutely hilarious, right? But this is about the regulations that we're talking. Like, if we're going to bring up the cars. Okay. So this is a red flag law. As you can see, it's an old photo. I think like someone tried to make a meme out of it. But what do we have here? We got a primitive car, right? Early model. And you have a guy walking in front of a car with a red flag. Why is he doing this? Well, because that was the law. You had to walk with the flag. Like, literally, you had a guy with a red flag walking in front of the vehicle to signal to other people that the vehicle is coming. And apparently, like, the law was so batshit insane that if a horse was there, right, like someone came with a horse, in order not to spook the animal, you had to shut down the car. And if the horse actually wanted to walk past the car, you had to disassemble it, because apparently, like, it could be disassembled, right? So, like, if someone with a carriage asked you, it's like, you need to disassemble the vehicle, my horse needs to pass. You have to do that. Okay? Now, was that a good idea? I mean, it was to protect children, of course. You know, like, a car went down the hill. Do you support that, right? Like, do you want car crashes? Do you want people to die? You want people to die? No, you don't, right? So, like, obviously, this was common sense regulation. Why did it stop being common sense regulation? Well, because it was implemented, and then people realized, hold on a little bit. We don't really need to live in a mental asylum. And they pushed back against it, right? Only a centrally planned friends-enemy distinction can exist enforced. Ask yourself, who is the one who decides who the enemies are? Well, usually it's who inconveniences you, right? But like in the realm of politics, like if you actually have issue-based politics, which is what we have in Eastern Europe, you can't really have that distinction. Like sometimes it's convenient to be with the guy, other times it's not. It's like, what is the issue? What are we voting on? Academic agent called me a griller. What'd you say to that? Well, I fucking love to grill and people just don't let me. Jacob Andrew. Data collected on a large scale needs to be stored on servers. To control the temperatures for the servers, you need HVAC systems. Well, no, I think like the main issue is the companies that do the facial scanning. You know, these are the ones that are selling the shovels during the gold rush. The companies that are losing are companies like BitChute that can't afford to comply with the regulations. Any type of platform that actually wants an internet anonymity and free speech. And also the companies themselves that have to now forward and pay a lot of money in order to be compliant. And so the only ones that are losing, the only ones that are winning are the politicians, which can now escape criticism. But also the companies that sell these AIs, which look at your face and assess how old you are, right? Like, they're the ones that are making a lot of money. And a lot of these companies literally lobbied for these laws to pass. Now, if you follow the money and you can see who's on top, plot twist, it's a hedge fund. But anyway, right, not gonna go into that because I want to try and at least get through half of this video.
This has basically happened all the way through history, and we're going to have a look at some of the previous efforts of the British government to bring speech, quote unquote, under control. So in 1545, Henry VIII appointed a Master of Revels under the Lord Chamberlain to regulate public performances. Well, that was very brown of Henry VIII, wasn't it? Old brown Henry, not very in the tradition of Anglo liberty from Henry VIII. There. Let's carry on. So this Lord Chamberlain's powers of censorship basically continued. I happen to know this because when I was working on Shakespeare, I was acutely aware of the fact that Shakespeare's plays faced censorship. I mean, his company was actually called the Lord Chamberlain's Men, but every play had to be submitted to the Lord Chamberlain, to the Master of Revels, who would then go through the play and...
Yeah, but like, this isn't normal, just so you know, right? Like, not every single nation on Earth did this. But, okay, fine. At least he did it in England. Imagine if you would have said, there are French theaters, And I know that, like, British people go to those French theaters, so, French theaters now have to be regulated. It's a little bit insane, isn't it? Right? Like, that's the argument we're talking. It's like, if the censorship goes outside of your borders, right? Like, at the end of the day, an American company gets regulated because you say, well, yeah, but, like, British people are there. Control your fucking citizens then. You know, like, that's the thing. Like, the government wants censorship, but it doesn't want to be viewed as it's the one doing it. That's the thing that pisses people off, right? And you're basically stating that no nation on earth can house a website where British people happen to be there unless it sucks the penis of Ofcom. And people are outraged because of it, right? Like, this is why people do this. I don't fucking blame them.
Make amendments. This practice continued for a very long time. It continued until 1737, notwithstanding the brief period there where Cromwell actually shut the theatres down, and banned Christmas and all the rest of it. But when the theatres reopened...
Again, right? Just so you can understand what he's talking about, right? Cromwell banned Christmas. And yes, there was an army of religious fanatics, which, again, like the Anglosphere, has no fucking chill. Either they're, like, on one hand of the spectrum of insanity, or they go into the other. They can never be in the fucking middle with normal folks. You know, like, there's that meme with Britain at the wheel, and some other person's like, why can't you be normal? Right? Banning fucking Christmas. They went so puritanical. I'm not even kidding. Like, that's in British history. Like, he knows it. It's true. Right? And it's like, why would I want that mental illness here? Like, what have I done to deserve it? I don't want to live like that. You know? Like, rallying themselves into a pious frenzy where they believe that Christmas has to be banned. Fucking insane. And he's, like, upset that people were saying that he is brown. Like, my brother in Christ, I would embrace that. I fucking embrace it. Like, that's a compliment. If they ban Christmas, I'm watching Die Hard. Do you know what the reasoning was? The reasoning for banning Christmas was that it's a time of prayer and Jesus. And so it's not a time of festivity and celebration. You need to stay home and you need to fast. The real reason is that, again, like, British people just aren't fucking normal. Most of Europe understood how Catholicism works, right? You want to have a whorehouse, the Catholics would let you have a whorehouse. Just, like, talk to the priest behind closed doors, give him some money, you know, donate to the church, and he leaves you the fuck alone, right? Like, literally, that's how politics worked in Europe. It's like, you can do everything you want, just bribe the fucking priest. The King of England didn't want that. No, can't bribe. No, he's going to start Protestantism, right? He wanted to start Protestantism. So he kicks out all of the Catholic priests, creates all of this madness, all of this dumb shit, to the point where, like, people are trying to flee them into America. And they didn't even allow them to stay there. The moment the people that fled that religious persecution and they went to another fucking continent at the edge of the world and they built something, the religious crazies went after them. It's like, there is literally no reason why you can be proud of that accomplishment and go like, well, look, in British history, like, we had other times when we were mentally insane. It's like, okay, fine. You were insane back then and now you're trying to be again. That should be like a warning, not a thing it's like of continuation. Protestantism started in Germany. Don't gaslight me, because I'm going to fucking check. Didn't, like, an English king declare himself as head of the church? I heard an American a few days ago saying something about, I remember Obama. Hold on, let me actually check. No, there's no fucking way that I'm wrong. Look, I haven't read this shit in more than 10 years, so, like, you may be right. But let me check. Didn't an English king call himself head of the church and expropriated Catholic lands? Okay, Henry VIII. Like, apparently this is what, like, Academics Agent's example, right? Why is he proud of this? He broke England away from the authority of the Pope and the Catholic Church after the Pope refused to annul his marriage to Catherine. So again, you know, like, why couldn't he have a mistress like normal people? And every king had mistresses. Why did he need to annul his marriage? Just like, fucking get a mistress. Be normal. Right? Like, priests are willing to look the other way. Have a mistress, bribe the bishop, and just be fucking normal. No, like, friend, enemy, Pope is the enemy. Enemy, I will confiscate the churches. I will fucking uproot society. Make everyone's life miserable. Have, like, British people wanting to have a funeral, and now they can't because they're excommunicated. And until a new priest comes, just fucking suck it. Oh, societal unrest. Who gives a shit? Dude. Bruh. He wanted the legitimate son. Again, before he dies, legitimize the bastards. Just be fucking normal. Everyone else does it. Everyone else is normal. Like, have 25 bastards, and before you die, legitimize all. Start another 100-year war, you know? Like, but like, don't kick off the Pope. Like, dude. Dude. Again, like, I'm looking at this, and he's like, what, like, proud to be a British and ashamed to be a Persian? I'm just thinking, like, he's got his priorities wrong. Like, if someone would call me proud in his position, I would embrace it. Out of shame. British in 2025. Holy shit.
It still came back under the Lord Chamberlain's office. And everything was formalised in 1737 with something called the Licensing Act, which, again, regulated all public performances. And eventually this was replaced by the Theatres Act in 1843. And these acts were pretty, they were not just restrictive in terms of, you know, certain words they weren't allowed to say, or, you know, in the time of the Tudors, you know, you wouldn't have been able to put regicide on stage as one example. There's a scene in Richard II where Richard II abdicates. That was reserved only for private performances. On the public stage, they wouldn't have been allowed to put that on. These are just examples of some of the sorts of things. Lewdness of various kinds. Women weren't allowed on stage.
Oh my goodness. I'm actually giving him money, aren't I? Yeah, like, no one is saying... I mean, look, I'm pretty sure there are people saying it, but, like, I'm not that unreasonable. Like, I get censorship, alright? I understand that every government censors. I'm not a child. But we're not talking here about this type of censorship when it's, like, within your country. Like, you want to censor the fucking internet. And it's not even things that make sense. Like, okay, back in the day, when you had kings, right? And like everything came down from the right of king to rule, right? Like the divine mandate. You couldn't allow the king to be insulted because society had to believe that the king is from heaven. Not directly from heaven, but like he's anointed by the church, right? So like society believed that the king is literally sent by God to govern over the nation. And so you couldn't insult the king because, like, that was the fabric of society. So, like, okay, fine, you know, like, within that context. We don't live in that context anymore. We don't do divine rights of kings, you know? So, like that level of censorship then, okay, makes sense. But now you're talking about censoring little girls over rap lyrics on Twitter. Come on, you know, you're censoring more than Russia. You're censoring more than Russia. You're putting more people behind bars than Russia. Where can you have a conversation? Like, maybe it's a little bit too much. You know, like, maybe it's just, like, a little bit overboard. Like, is there even a limit? Like if you censor more than China, would that be good or bad? Like, how much is it? Like, when the censorship goes to such a ridiculous level, like, even BitChute had to close down, right? You finally had a British company that would host videos, and you legislated it out of existence. So, like, is there like a limit? I really hate this argument that a lot of pro-censorship people do. It's like, well, do you like kiddie porn? And I'm like, no, of course I don't. Oh, so then you like censorship? Well, of course, then you can't complain about China. It's like, dude. Again, like, they have no chill. Like, it's an on-off button, right? It's never a dial. Like, I'm okay with, like, a level 3 at censorship. You know, okay, maybe a 4. But, like, the moment I say I'm okay with even a 2, you guys, like, push that dial to 11. It was Martin. The Jews And there lies Luther, who started the Protestant of Reformation when he nailed the 99 loft buffoons to the church door. I'll have to look into it a little bit more, okay, maybe. But like, I know for sure that in England, it was started by Henry VIII, okay? Like, I'm pretty convinced that's the case. Because apparently, he couldn't have a mistress like normal people. Oh, is Abdi Muhammad back? Welcome back to the show, Abdi Muhammad. He responds to me at 35. Can we even get to 35? We're already just at 5. To be fair, I was interrupted by one of his commercials, so.
Until the 18th century. But they were also proscriptive. So if you have a look into the Theatres Act 1843, there were guidelines that there has to be kind of like some sort of moral good being pushed and things like this as well. Okay? So there you go, in the tradition of Anglo liberty, very brown of the Victorians to be behaving like that, very brown of the Hanoverians, the Georgians, to be carrying on in the way they did, very brown of Oliver Cromwell to shut the theatres down, and of course very brown of the Tudors to bring in the Lord Chamberlain's Master of Revels. So all of this continued, basically. The Lord Chamberlain...
I'm willing to bet the Persian did none of that. Like, again, just be proud of our Persian heritage.
Retain these powers over the theatre all the way, under the Theatres Act and so on. It was brought into what became the modern British state, but it was still the kind of continuation of the Lord Chamberlain's office that regulated the theatre, and it continued all the way until 1968 when leftist radicals abolished these powers, and so public live performances after 1968 were a lot less censored, and you get...
See, this is exactly why I'm not agreeing with the friend-enemy distinction. Yeah, I would have been with those leftists. Like, absolutely, you know? Like if I was living in Britain at the time and I wanted to see some actual performances happen, and I would be sick and tired of France dominating me at the world stage, because if you guys remember, like, France was lingua franca. The entire Europe spoke it. Why? Because of the French plays, right? So here you have the British, with their morality, can't get a mistress like normal people, have to kick out the Catholics, and they go, well, every single play needs to be morally preachy. We need to wokeify. Every single thing has to have, like, some good... Okay, fine. You know, you keep your theater over there, and we're getting, like, those French ladies that, like, kick their legs up and show us the panties. You know, you guys know that? Like, that was actually a thing, right? No, seriously. Like, they would have, like, ladies on stage and, like, dun, 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 and they would lift their leg up. Much to the horror of the British. Ah! But, like, the entire Europe was like, okay, lingua franca. Right? Like, they're normal people. Like, they're humans. They have sexuality. Okay, fine, right? And so, like, if I was English, I would be livid. It's like, well, why can't those people make so much money and have so much soft power, and we have to behave like retards? And so, like, yeah, I would have allied with those leftists. Now, those leftists are pushing censorship. I would ally with someone else, but apparently, like, the island has gone so crazy that I don't even think there is someone to ally with. Huh? Like, who's going to break? Nigel Farage. Yeah, okay, fine, I'll ally with Nigel Farage. It is what it is, you know.
An explosion of some extreme theatre. Romans in Britain is one of the famous examples where there's a staging of gay sex, or gay rape even, that occurs.
Oh my goodness, no. I was told that never happened. By the way, it wasn't that shocking at the time. Like, this was a trend throughout the entire Europe. Again, like, most of the Anglosphere, all the way up until Germany, right? Because, like, after Germany, if you go more to the east, people are more chill. Like, we don't fluctuate through these extremes. Like, either an extreme where you ban Christmas, or an extreme where you have gay sex on the scene, you know? Like, no, like here in Eastern Europe, like, say what you will about it, we're not perfect. But culturally speaking, we do not, like, oscillate from one extreme to another, constantly. You know? And so, yeah, no, like, you had this shit back in the day. And not to mention, like, the Weimar Republic had even more shit. But again, it stopped at Germany, like, for some fucking reason. I don't know why. You guys can figure it out. Like, why can't they be normal? Why do they have to be extreme? Either, like, extremely pious to the point where they freak out at a booby, or they don't allow any play to happen unless it has a moral reason, because obviously, like, where can people get morality except the theater? Or they do gay sex. But I think I might know why. Like, I'm generally starting to understand, right? Like, if you're that suppressed, where you can't get a mistress because you need to kick the Pope out, and you can't have Christmas because whatever. Like, you're creating a generation of repressed individuals that think you're an asshole. And then they will do exactly the opposite to horrify you, but unfortunately it also horrifies the next generation, right? It horrifies their kids as well. So then their kids are going to become, again, the opposite. They're going to be as pious as possible. They're going to dial it to 11. And the wheel just keeps spinning, doesn't it?
In that play, it was hugely controversial at the time. I think since some censorship has crept back in to the stage, but for a while there, for a brief period...
Yeah, because that's another thing, right? Like, people just don't know how to use free speech. Why do you need to have the gay sex on scene? It's like... It's kind of like what kicked it off with the Steam video game shit, you know? Like, the video game No Mercy. It's like, I'm for adult games, you know? And I will never say that a game should be banned or not, but, like... That developer was honestly looking for it. You know, like making a rape simulator with incest and shit. It's like, you fucked it out. And now we're all finding out, you know? The same thing with Roblox, right? Like, just because, you know, you can have something unrestricted. It's like, if you know that your video game has kids playing, at least do some basic... Like, even 4chan back in the day, right? And I got pushback because of it. Because it's like, well, V, you like free speech. Like, why are you... It's like... I'm not saying they should be censored, but I'm saying they should have some common sense themselves, right? Like, they themselves, as people, should have some common sense. 4chan back in the day was an anonymous image board, and literally everyone could go there, right? There was no laws, no nothing. Like, you could do literally whatever. There were criminals that posted crimes on 4chan, and they got caught by the cops. But they had one rule. And that rule was, if you're underage, you get banned. Right? Now, obviously, you know, there were kids, 17-year-old little boys, right? Like, little Billy, 17-year-old, who would go on 4chan and lie that he is 18. But the moment he would say that he is 17 or even insinuate, he would get banned. It's because, well, okay, like that is like a legitimate filter. Like, you don't have the brain capacity to be there. Like, you're not mentally developed yet. Other people, like myself, who understood the situation, I would lurk and shut the fuck up. And I was there since I was 17. We did have Bolshevism, it's true. But, like, we didn't choose to have Bolshevism. And do you want to know why the Soviet Union had Bolshevism? Look who funded Lenin. It was the Germans, right? Everything stops at Germany until it doesn't. No, but, like, seriously, like, during World War I, the Germans, they funded Lenin. They gave him money. And he went to the Soviet Union, and then he brought the shit to us. Like, look, say what you want about the Romanians, but, like, we were with the Germans. Like, when push came to shove, we were like, okay, we're with the Germans. Until we weren't, because the Red Army invaded. But, look, it's not like, if it's being pushed on you, it's pushed on you. It's not self-inflicted. We were backstabbed during the crusade, even when we fought on our own internal conflicts. We're foreign influencers meddling into our affairs. Well, everyone meddles into someone else's affairs if you're someone important. Like, if you don't have people meddling into your own affairs, then you're not important. I'm suggesting that if academic agent has inside information and knows what a lot of the companies to invest, he'll make a lot of money. Enough to be pro-censorship. I don't think so. No, I'm not going to suspect that the man has, like, financial reasons to support censorship. And even if he does, right? Like, even if, let's say, he somehow knows to invest money here and there, and it's like, okay, why would you say it on your channel? Like, you're just going to alienate people. Like, I saw the bloodbath in the likes, dislikes. You showed it at the beginning of, not good, right? You're not going to sway minds with it. Like, most people, the reason people are against this is because they either have been censored or they have seen their friends getting censored. It broke my heart, chat. It broke my fucking heart when I saw that academic agent got fired from his university after getting doxxed. I'm not even kidding. I was legitimately upset about it, right? Because I like this channel. And when I found out, I was one of those fucking bastards. And now what do I see? Now I see academic agent showing to me that he didn't learn a thing. It's like, okay, well, I guess now I learned something, right? In the future, all academics are enemies. Every single fucking one. I don't think that there is a single positive person that went to the university and has become better off for it. Look at Sargon. You know, he used to talk like an average guy. He used to talk the language of the common man. Right? Like he would talk about feminism. It's like, oh, those damn bitches. Bitches be crazy. And I was like, okay, I understand what he's trying to say. Then he goes to the university and he comes back, the longhouse, the lunar, like, come on. What the fuck is that? You know, who speaks like that? Why are you talking like the lunar cycle, the longhouse? Look at that. My brother in Christ. What did they do to you? No, seriously, like, that's the question that like, what did they do to you? You weren't like that. You didn't speak like that, you know? Well, psychology. No, philosophy, even worse. At least psychology makes you able to pretend that you understand how people think. Like philosophy. Ugh. Philosophy. Jesus. Anyway, right. No, seriously, academics. See, this is why I like Kraut. Like, Kraut never dumped himself by becoming an academic. He had academics as friends, which got him into trouble, right? Like, academics, please respond. The academics got the poor guy into trouble.
In the 70s and the 80s, there was a kind of more anything goes attitude, and it resulted in things like Sarah Kane's Blasted, which famously has a scene where a baby is eaten on stage. So, yeah, before that, because of the quite strict regulations...
And by the way, notice how society didn't collapse? Like, he's talking as if it's a horror, right? Don't go to the fucking theater. Like, don't go to that play. What happened? Okay, so there were those plays, right? They had boot sex on what was it? 1,800? Okay, so they had a theater where there was boot sex and another one where there was an orgy or some shit. Okay, did society stop? Did the world collapse? Don't go to that stage. Watch the next play.
The British stage had a lot of innuendos and playwrights like Noel Coward and Terence Rattigan.
Oh my god! Like, am I going to see more commercials than I see with the quartering? Like, how many? I've already seen 3. To be fair, I played this video at double the speed, so, you know. But, like, we're 8 minutes in and I saw 3 commercials. And the video is 40 minutes. Like, dude. Imagine if I wasn't watching this on stream. I would have clicked away by now.
Sad. And you could argue that it led to kind of sophistication on the English stage, but other arguments are available. Maybe it was really important for Edward Bond to get a gay rape scene on stage. You know, opinions may vary. Wouldn't want to be too merry.
But did they have like a demographic decline because of those stages? Like seriously, see, I'm looking at it, and we're now talking about 300 years in the past, right? And apparently, like, they had gay sex and shit on stage, innuendos. And like okay, like, isn't it so fucking petty to go after that shit? I'm just saying, it's like, okay, and
Mary Whitehouse, would we? Oh, sorry, she was brown too. Let's carry on, okay? So you now have this scenario where the live stage that was regulated up until 1968 pretty heavily. Then they relaxed censorship, but obviously there was a change in public appetites and public consumption of performances because the radio and the television became a big thing, and this meant that there needed to be new regulation for those things. But
yeah, but like, again, what he is asking is that the French radio should be regulated by the British, right? Because, like, British people can turn their radio on and they can hear a French program from France. The British government should be able to regulate the French radio. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, right? Like if you're actually talking about sovereignty and shit. Right? Like, if the other way happened, if the French government regulated British radio, wouldn't you be upset? Right? If they tried to impose their degeneracy from the Olympics onto your household, right? Which they did, by the way. But it's the same with TV. Well, actually, to be fair, even the communists didn't regulate other people's TV. Like we, here under the Iron Curtain, we had like 2 problems. Number 1 was Radio Free Europe. And number 2 was like any type of channel that came from Western Germany. The communists didn't tell Radio Free Europe to stop broadcasting or to allow them to. No, like what they did is they shut down the system. Like they tried to jam the signal, and if you were caught listening to Radio Free Europe, you'd get arrested. Right? And like, this is what people are saying. Like, if you don't like 4chan, you can block its IP in the UK. You know, that's fine. But that's not what they're doing, is it?
First of all, I should mention that there was something in 1959 called the Obscene Publications Act 1959. Also under Margaret Thatcher, the famous libertarian, she also brought in the Public Order Act 1986, okay? And this is kind of interesting stuff. The Obscene Publications Act in 1959 was also subject to live performances, so even though they were going...
Yeah, but again, there is a difference between theater and public communications. Like, what the British government is trying to do now is the equivalent of opening every single piece of correspondence that people have and read it to see if there's anything against the establishment. So basically, right, like, imagine when Margaret Thatcher was a thing, if she would send an actual censor into your living room that would read your letters before you're sending them as if you're in a war situation. Like, the only time that happens in human history is like when Americans went to war and they had like censors attached, reading the correspondence before being sent home. And if the British government would like listen to your phones, like they would wiretap your phone, even though you don't commit a crime or anything, just to hear if you're not talking about kiddie porn over the phone. I'm not kidding, like that's enough. They want to abolish private correspondence, right? Like they want to see what your grandma is talking on WhatsApp. They don't like Telegram. They want to be able to have access to the Apple cloud. And all of this to be done without court orders, without anyone being suspected of anything. Now, again, I'm not saying they can't. I'm pretty sure they can, right? Like, they're a nation within G7. So, like, theoretically, maybe they can. I mean, they have the money to do it. It depends if the Americans are willing to play ball. But if the Americans play ball, yeah, sure, they will be able to do it. But why would I support it? Why does Academic Agent support it when he knows it's going to be used against him? He's on YouTube. He's on an American company. Like, if we go through his videos, like, there will be a lot of shit that he says, which is against the British government. Like, even Sargon has common sense on this. Then I'm saying even Sargon because he actually got mind-fucked at the university, right? Poor man. But still...
getting away with staging like gay rape, there were still certain things that were prohibited under that Obscene Publications Act, so the theatre company could actually get into trouble. Then we get this Public Order Act under Thatcher, which, if you're interested, is the actual root of what is called hate speech today in British law. That term hate speech has its root in the Public Order Act of 1986, and obviously in Britain there are strong libel laws and laws of defamation as well, and of course if you were going to play on, your performance would be subject to all of those things too.
Yeah, I actually know why that happened. So hate speech comes from the Soviet Union. Right? Like, this is something that they pushed really hard in the United Nations because the Americans came with the concept of free speech. And that was like a really big thing in the Cold War, you know, like liberty versus tyranny. And so the communists and their satellite states, they created the concept of hate speech. And Thatcher was pressured by the communists. And Thatcher, like, spent a lot of political capital on trying to fuck with the unions. And she actually did manage. Like, she... created for the first time that the working class was able to own houses, right? Like own their own house, and they had like really good upwards mobility because she fucked with the unions really bad. She did a lot of harm as well because like there were mining towns and others that suffered because of some of her policies. But still, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, no, like during that time, like she had to give concessions, right? So this is one of them. Tuki Vola 101, and they haven't been the same since. Goodness gracious. Yes, the Soviets were pushing censorship internet. Of course they were. And you know who else was it? The Muslim Brotherhood. Like, these were the two main factions that wanted censorship worldwide. They realized it's like, okay, well, we can actually weaken the Americans with it because like the Americans have identity politics, right? So like they actually supported well, actually not Martin Luther King, but they supported a lot of black communists, right? Martin Luther King was a communist as well. Like, a lot of communism was supported in America directly by the Soviets. And of course, the Muslims, they cared more about blasphemy laws and making sure that hate speech covers religion and Islam and that type of thing.
However, like I said, technology was changing. So you had the telephone, you had the radio, obviously, and then you had the television. And with the advent of these two new technologies...
No, this is not acceptable. Someone tell academic agent. It's like, dude. Look, I'm not against watching commercials because I want to support the channels that I talk about, but like, we're 10 minutes in and we saw 4. Like, come on.
So, first of all, the new powers of censorship accrued to the Postmaster General, most significantly with the Wireless Telegraphy Act of 1904, which regulated communications over the telephone. There were certain things that were prohibited under that act. Then, as television became a thing, the Postmaster General, whose office was called Oftel, was basically, so it started off with telephones. Then
Wait. So, like, British people, like, they censor telephones? Even the communists didn't fucking censor telephone. Like, the only way you'd get your telephone censored is with a court order. Even in the Soviet Union. My God. That's so vile. Didn't they get upset about it? Like, it's like the government listened in when you were talking with Nana? You talk with your mommy over the phone and the government listens in? Jesus. Ugh.
The Postmaster General picked up radio as part of his portfolio. Then, as television became a thing, it was stuck in there as well. So this started to be a little bit unwieldy because the Postmaster General was having to make decisions on a post hoc basis. He was kind of de facto in charge of regulating these sorts of communications. So eventually, separate regulators were set up in every area. So one such example is the Independent Television Authority from 1954. Then in 1972, there was a move to consolidate them in one bigger authority called the Broadcast Authority, which
so fucking disgusting, man. It's like so vile, like this piece of history, you know. I actually like Britain, but now the more he talks, the more it's like ugh.
Which had a division for television and a division for radio. Then in 1972. Then, under Margaret Thatcher, so that 1972 Broadcast Authority kind of ballooned in size, and under Thatcher, they wanted to kind of make them smaller again, so they set up the Broadcasting Standards Council in 1988, very brand of Margaret Thatcher to do that, and even more brand of Margaret Thatcher was to set up the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of 1981. And these were all then later merged, so there's this weird thing where they set up these separate entities, and then they merge, and then they're broken apart again. I don't know why this keeps on happening. But under John Major, in 1990...
I tell you why it keeps happening, because you guys aren't normal. You go after the most petty shit, right? Like theater plays. Go after the most petty shit, and then the children of your generation end up hating you. Literally despising it. It's like, why is daddy going after petty shit? Doesn't hurt anyone. I saw that play, I'm fine. And then he ends up doing the exact opposite, right? He fucking hates the censors and all that. And then he becomes like an uncontrolled degenerate. Because like you can't just allow a little bit so that the release valve is there. No, you have to either ban all. And then the other guy goes like fully level. Like he can't just do a 4 level of degeneracy. No, he has to like push it to the max. So that his child then puts it back to 0. And you look at other nations and they don't do that. Like this is what I'm saying. Like you don't have to live like that. Like you can unironically have a nation where you don't listen to people's phones, for Christ's sakes. You don't have to ban Christmas. Am I wondering why Orwell wrote what he wrote? It starts to make sense now. I saw that play, but I'm fine. Becomes uncontrollable degenerate. It's perfectly fine. Well, no. The reason he becomes an uncontrollable degenerate isn't because you saw that play. It's because he was lied to. He feels lied, right? Like he was told that the play is dangerous, and it wasn't. And then he wonders, like, why is this person saying irrational shit? And like, yeah, it's the fact that he never... Like, let me give you the perfect example of this, right? I've seen this 3 times, and I'm believing that it's a pattern. So, every single time I was in college... When I had an American coming over to Romania, they would drink like animals. I'm not kidding. Like, they would drink themselves under the table. Like, I had to carry one to the hotel room because he drank himself unconscious. And I genuinely didn't understand, like, what the fuck is going on, right? Like, okay, 1, it can happen. 2, it's a coincidence. But, like, 3 times, it's enemy action. Like, why are Americans incapable to hold their liquor? And when I grew up, I understood. Here in Romania, we used to drink when we were, like, 12 or 13. You know, like, you go with your parents. And they would give you, like, either a tiny glass of wine or maybe, like, some beer. But, like, it wasn't, like, a social taboo or anything, right? And then when you end up growing up and you're like in your adolescence, hormones are raging and you go to a party where you're 16 and you get drunk and you come home, you're going to get a spanking. Like, mother is going to say, what the fuck are you thinking? And she's not like you're going to get liver damage, but she's like, well, what if you pass out and someone pickpockets you? Are you retarded? Right? And so, like, when you're a teenager, you get drunk, you experience the humiliation. And, like, what's the worst that can happen? Well, you're a teenager, right? Like, not much. But then if you're, like, an adult and you get drunk, what happens? Well, you can be late for work. You can end up in trouble. Because, like, when you're a kid, you don't really end up in trouble. But if you're an adult and you get drunk and you break some windows or you punch someone, all of a sudden you can get into prison. And so, the reality is that if you manage to experience certain degeneracy when you're young, well, you get used to it, you start understanding which is the limit, right? Like most people do. But when you don't experience anything and you're finally away from your parents and you go like full throttle and you want maximum experience with everything, well, you end up coming to Romania and getting yourself drunk and falling off under a table. But yeah, I mean, what if someone pickpockets you? Like, back then, we didn't have credit cards. Back then, we had cash. You actually never drank. Yeah, but, like, not everyone is like you. Alright? Like, other people wanted to experience life. You're the type of person that doesn't buy a fucking laptop to play my video game. You're not really a benchmark here. You're an outlier. It's not about what your dad says. It's about who your friends are. I think it's a little bit of both, right? It's a taboo if you drink alone. Yes, in Romania it is, actually. I can either drink or not. Substances don't control me. At what age did you start, though? Serious question. Like, at what age did you start?
96, they put them all together again and made something called the Broadcasting Standards Commission of 1996. So the idea that there was kind of free speech in Britain, that there's this kind of long tradition of anything goes.
No, I'm going to say something nasty now. I'm. How many? How fucking many are you going to force me to watch? Jesus. Are British people greedy? Like, why can't you put 1? Okay, it's a 45-minute video. Fine. 3. Maybe 4, but like I'm already like at 13 minutes and I've seen 4.
Say whatever you want. Not actually true. As soon as it becomes anything kind of public. So
look. No one is saying that in Britain you had free speech. That's your prime minister that you're supporting. That's Keir Starmer saying that. Okay, you're not American. Like, let's not pretend. Okay, like you're like, well, I'm not brown. Sure, buddy, sure. You're not American though. Okay, you didn't have free speech. You have the little free speech corner, and even then you managed to arrest the guy that said something nasty. So, yeah, no, like, I'm aware, yes, like, Britain is not free speech. Absolutely, it's not. You guys banned this shit. You banned your fucking national flag. Like, come the fuck on, you know, like, again, like, taking morality from this nation is bizarre. It's like, no, I don't think that your morals are good. If you want to live by them, that's fine. But we're talking about a country that bans its own flag. Do I need to say anything more? And this is the country that wants to legislate the internet? Have we gone insane? Like, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but, like, can we push back against it? Because as Academic Agent says, you know, like, the censorship apparatus goes up and down. Can we make it so it goes down again? Jesus. Banning your own national flag. Holy fucking shit.
Public theatre, even telephones and telegrams when they came in, radio and television have always been subject to regulation. Things that you are allowed to put on air and things that you're not allowed to put on air. Okay. John Major also split up the IBA to establish a...
Again, this is the country that makes television so fucking awful, so fucking bad, that they have to force their citizens to pay a license for it. If you're from Britain, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Look, like, I don't mind. See, I'm not with the friend enemy shit. If you want to live your life like that, live your life like that. But, like, don't inflict it on others. It's inhumane. You know, like, your way of life, if you inflict it on other people, it's generally inhumane. It's kind of like, you know, when the Europeans, like, we had bacteria and shit and animal husbandry and we became resistant to our own bullshit. But then you go to the noble savage in America and you cough on him and he dies. He's not used to our bullshit. Okay? It's literally the same with England. Like, if you guys have developed some immunity to censorship to the point where you covet it and you love it and you're like academic agent, you can't live without it, at least keep it there, you know? Don't get us sick. Seriously, like, I'm listening to him with how, like, the British government would censor phones and listen to people's conversation. And I'm getting sick by hearing that. It's like, it's vile. It's disgusting. At least the British can still vote for their president. No, they can't. They don't even have a fucking president. The only thing they have is a king that bans smoking. And I'm watching a guy that smokes and lectures me about morality. And he's a patriot, apparently. No, like, King Charles, right? Like, apparently he has butt cancer, which, again, it's like, I'm sorry that happened to him, you know? But he now wants to ban smoking for the entire population of Britain. And it's like, oh, if you're under 18 now, you will never smoke in your entire life. What is that? Why?
A separate radio authority in 1991. Then he set up a television commission in 1991 as well. And what Tony Blair did, so we're going to go all the way, this is a long story, to get to Ofcom, who are the body that we're talking about today. What Tony Blair did is he took all of these separate bodies that have been set up over the years. There was the kind of fag end of one from like the 70s, there was these ones that Major set up, there were the ones that Thatcher set up. He said, look, all this is a mess. We're going to take all these separate bodies that are all over the place, you know, and we're going to put them all into one centralised body, and it's going to be called Ofcom. Right? So Blair did not just invent censorship, okay? What Blair did is he streamlined it.
Yeah, but like, do you notice how other nations don't have a Ministry of Censorship? Or if they do, they're not proud of it. You're talking like it's this huge accomplishment, you know? It's like, what did he do? Well, he created the Ministry of Censorship. So, like, throughout history, like, censorship went up and down, and then you have this guy, it's like, all right, well, we're going to empower it. To the point where it's going to be the largest censorship apparatus to censor the World Wide Web. This is not an accomplishment to be proud of, you know? It's kind of like hearing a communist, like, saying, okay, so we had so many people, and you know what Stalin did? He started the gulags. It was, like, really filled with, or like, you know, well, Stalin didn't start the gulags. Like, there were gulags before Stalin, you know, there were little camps here and there were little camps there, and then Stalin comes up and, you know, he rounds up all of the dissidents and all of the clergy and members of the aristocracy and puts them into one place in Siberia. Like, yeah, see, he didn't do nothing. Like, look, it's normal. It's normal for nations to get rid of their political dissidents. Oh, so like, well, like Putin, oh, a guy fell off the window. Another guy got isekai'd into a land with animes because he tried to make a march on Moscow with his Wagner people, right? Prizgonin. Well, I mean, like, it happens. Like, nations, like, look, all I'm saying is, like, you need to have some common sense, right? You need to have some common, like, these things are normal in a society. Like, if you want to live in a place, you need a government, and sometimes government get rid of political dissidents. This is what I'm hearing, by the way, you know, like, as a person that doesn't have Ofcom. Well, actually, we now start to, because, like, again, the reason that pisses me off is that the gold standard comes from Western Europe, and every single time my country looks at Western Europe, they import the garbage. Like, I'm not going to see them import something that's not garbage. I'm not going to see them import something, well, hold on, what do they have that's not garbage lately? Shit. Why can't they look at Poland, right? Why can't they look at Poland and consider that to be Western Europe? And just everything that's outside of Poland is bad. Don't do what they do, you know? I would rather be poor than to have this mentality.
Into one body with government oversight. That's what he did. I mean, Ofcom is meant to be independent, but it's given government guidelines, and the government set certain rules that Ofcom has to stick to, and of course they pass laws that Ofcom have to then enforce. Incidentally, if you're interested, this is, the Equality Act 2010 is also an example of this, where there were lots and lots of different discrimination laws, many of them written by Thatcher, by the way. Like the Race Relations Act 65, that wasn't Thatcher, but there was all those different laws on the books. And the Equality Act 2010, what New Labour did is they basically just put them all into one super act, right? So as to, and that's what Blair and Brown did a lot. They had all sorts of different rules everywhere, and they just put them into one super rule. And Ofcom is...
I'm curious, did he vote for them? Like, legit question. Did he vote for Labour? Did he vote for Blair? I just want to know, asking for a friend.
One of these.
And if not, why not? Look how much good they did for the United Kingdom. I mean, they seem pretty fucking based. Like, without them, British people would go out of control.
With this long history from Henry VIII to Tony Blair, is that the British state or the British government has always taken steps to regulate what can and cannot be said.
Again, like, no one has claimed that it didn't, right? But, like, people are basically saying that they're going a little off-road now. Becoming a little bit local with it, right? Like they're thinking, okay, well, we should actually censor the entire World Wide Web. Tony Blair didn't censor French radio, and he didn't censor American television, right? And he wouldn't, like, open... Well, actually, apparently, like, he did listen to people's phones. According, like, if what he is saying is true. But he didn't open people's correspondence, right? Like, if I was to write a letter to academic agent, much love from V, I don't think, like, he would open my letter to see if I'm not writing anything discriminatory, if I'm not calling him brown or some shit. Although maybe he would. Now I'm not sure. Like, from what I've been described, my impressions of Britain have been significantly worsened. You know, now I am going to ask people, are you from Britain? And I'll be like, ugh. I'm going to try to censor me? Going to try to censor me? Bitch? Huh? You're in Romania now. Don't you fucking dare censor me. I censor you, motherfucker.
In the public. And I would warrant that pretty much every government is the same as a matter of practicality.
No, not every government has an Ofcom. No. Every government censors, yes. But again, like, when you're looking at Russia, and you notice that you're arresting more people for posting on social media, or you have, like, people arrested for fidget spinners, or you consider your own flag to be a national embarrassment. No, that's... Yeah, again, it's not an on-off switch. I really hate this mentality, right? Either yes or no. Yes, like, every single government censors, but, like, come on. Let's have a top 10 and see where you fit.
Cu noul casa avantaj.
Unfucking real. Unfucking real, dude. The fuck? What would you call academic agent a smoker? He's taking advantage because, like, again, let me see if the king didn't actually ban smoking. I'm pretty sure I saw that in an interview. No, sorry, not in an interview, in a newspaper, that the King of England has banned smoking. Academic agent is in the chat? Where? Why am I being gaslit? It's not in the chat. If he was in the chat, I would have had 179 people watching rather than 178. Why don't you get YouTube Premium if you refuse to use AdBlock? Because this is cheaper. And also, I get to shit on people that put too many ads.
Well, government. Part of it will be propaganda. Part of it will be security, like war, for example. Lots of censorship comes in during wartime because the enemy is trying to...
Yeah, but, like, again, I'm not complaining that Britain is censoring Russia today. Right? And notice how they're censoring Russia today. They're not fining Russia today. They're not giving penalties or trying to say that they should control what Russia today is putting on. You know, no, they're just blocking the website. And I understand why they're doing it. It's because it's war, okay? So, like, I get that. Yeah, it's like, it's in your sphere of influence. Like, we invested money in Ukraine. All right, fine. But, like, why are you censoring Wikipedia? That's what I don't understand.
Infiltrate the enemy, trying to get its narrative out there. But there is also just the question of what was always called moral decency or public decency. America had these laws too. Hayes Act in Hollywood is one, in television was a famous one. I remember Ronald Reagan brought in a lot of the TV shows I watched when I was a kid, He-Man and Thundercats and Transformers, all of those, I remember Ronald Reagan passed an act where every children's show had to have some sort of moral message, and that's why He-Man...
Yeah, and how did that went, Because, like, this is another thing. Like, they censor shit, and they never actually think it's like, okay, and what happened after we censor? Well, what happened is that you get the woke generation, right? So, like, your moral messages apparently may have been lost on those young kids. But also you have anime, right? And you have, like, a 10-year-old growing up with these cartoons with moral messages, which, again, like, at first they're nice. But when that's the only shit you get, like, non-stop moral messages over and over and over and over. And then you see a show like Naruto. And Naruto is not about, like, the same moral message. It's got, like, real feelings. It's like, it's made by human beings. You have murder in Naruto. You got death. But you also have, like, the power of fucking friendship. And sometimes the good guys win, and sometimes the good guys lose. There's, like, blood. There's, like, actual struggle. And what happens is everyone watches anime now. Because your stuff was shit. And it's not shit because, like, the show itself is bad. Like, the show with moral messages is good. But you over-fucking did it. You went a little bit too far. It's like, what's wrong with having some diversity? Just let the artist create. Why do you keep cracking the whip on the artist? What the fuck did the artist ever do to you? It's so fucking easy to regulate. I don't like this. I don't like that. You never fucking create anything. Well, actually, Academic did. He made the book. I hope it gets regulated. I fucking hope it gets regulated off Amazon. Why? Out of spite. Oh, fucking spite. Like, people who ask for regulations should benefit first and foremost from the regulations. Probably won't get regulated. It's probably about something boring, isn't it? Like economy or some shit.
And at the end of the show would be like, and today's lesson is, kids, don't talk to strangers. It was very cheesy, stuff like that. But this was actually a government edict from Ronald Reagan, okay? Again, very brown, Ronald Reagan didn't understand the tradition of Anglo...
But did it really fucking trigger him that much because people say he's brown? Again, like, dude, take it as a compliment. Take it as a compliment. Like, being called English is worse. Like from the outside, like, at this point in 2025, like, given the current political climate and the current context, yes. Like, if I was you, I would embrace my brown heritage. What is it, Persian? Fucking check, you got rugs and carpets and shit, right? You don't try to push censorship on other people. I remember I had the Persian rug. It had elephants and shit. It was really good. Again, like, my experience with the Persians is superior than my current experience with the British people.
Liberty, and neither did Margaret Thatcher. Okay, so all I'm saying is, once you look at the history of this stuff, you understand that these arguments people are giving me are not actually in earnest. They're not actually honest arguments. And they're
again, like, the arguments come from Keir Starmer, boss. Right? I just need to remind people, okay? Just need to remind people, that this is what he's saying, right? So, I was accused of straw manning, but, like, look, I back Starmer on this. The British government must reserve the right to find American companies who operate here. Okay? He backs Starmer. Starmer is the one that said Britain has a history of free speech, when J.D. Vance said that no, he doesn't. So this is why people are maybe saying this, because, like, okay, well, he backs Starmer. Let's see what Starmer has to say. And Starmer's like, well, Britain is for free speech. Why does Carl give him the time of day? Because Carl went to a university. They don't operate in England. They just permit England to view their work. Okay, like, how many times must I repeat myself, right? If you have radio broadcasts, like, should French people or the European Union legislate British radio broadcasts just because, like, people from Europe can get the frequency? Should, like, the European Union legislate the BBC? I don't think they should. But apparently, according to academic agents, it's like, yeah, they must.
Actual. So let's now come forward to the current case, to the 4chan case and Ofcom. So what they're trying to do at the moment, and it's not just the British government, it's the EU who've got a version of this, as I mentioned in the last video. It is the American government who've got, their version is literally called, by the way, the Kids Online Safety Bill, or the Kids Online Safety Act. It is literally, and I'm not kidding you, word for word the same as the British one. And it's already passed in the Senate with 90 plus votes. Okay, it's sitting there, waiting for the House of Representatives to pass it. And Mark my words, they will pass it. Okay.
Well, yeah, but if you know anything about America, if they make the infrastructure bill, it does literally the opposite. It's going to be a bill that's going to get bridges to collapse, the Wi-Fi to stop working, and planes to fall out of the sky. If it's called the Patriot Act, it's an act that if Thomas Jefferson would read, he would reach for his musket to end his presidency. If they pass, like literally any law, you look at the name, and if it's American, it does the exact opposite. So if they pass the Kids Online Safety Act, then the kids are literally in danger. And I even know how. I can explain to you why a kid under the new internet is de facto in danger. Like you're endangering your kids if they're on the internet, right? In Britain, you already have more people arrested for social media posts than in Russia. Okay? Imagine your child being allowed to be on the internet in Britain. You're an irresponsible parent. You're a fucking moron if you allow that to happen. Like the Online Safety Act has passed. It's the Danger Act. Like your kid can make a racist joke and end up in prison with a criminal record. You're fucking insane. Like, what are you doing? Get your kid a VPN. Right? Like, it is the same thing in America. Will that bill pass? Probably. I do think it will pass, but I think it will annoy so many fucking people that within 2 or 3 years, it's going to get repealed. Not the first time. In fact, like, Academic Agent also says, yes, like, throughout history, sometimes the censorship went up and sometimes the censorship went down. Okay, fine. But why are you supporting it? You're using a platform, YouTube. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. I will show you. I will show you just how bad it is. So he can see, maybe, like, if he watches the video, he can understand why it's beyond fucking retarded to support this. Give me a second. Let me figure out how to do it. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, chat. Let me show you how the man is literally slamming his own testicles. Okay, like I want you to clip this, and I want you to stuff it down his proverbial throat. All right. So this is his channel. Okay. He's got videos uploaded 3 hours ago, 1 day ago, 5 days, 6 days, right? So like he uploads quite consistently. Now, let's turn restricted mode, right? So restricted mode is how YouTube is going to look like if they implement this Kids Online Safety Act, if Australia passes the shit. Like YouTube is already starting to comply, right? So basically, if you're a person that hasn't doxed themselves and you didn't create an account, right? This is how you're going to see YouTube. So notice how many of his videos are now banned and people literally can't watch them because he is supporting this. Why? Why is he supporting this? Like, again, I'm not saying that you can't explain that it will happen. I'm not saying that you can't say that, okay, well, it's inevitable, it is what it is. But you're literally supporting your own censorship. Your views are going to plummet. I don't know what else to say, man. I mean... How do I unfuck my YouTube now? Okay, I managed to unfuck it. Yeah, like, literally, his most recent video is hidden. Yeah, no shit. Like, if you have any type of topics that are remotely controversial, like, they get hidden. He does have a lot of Stalin videos. Which is funny, because those ones don't get banned. It's not coping. Like it's not that I care that he does this, right? Like, it's not influencing world events. Like, if I change his mind tomorrow, it's not going to change the system. But like, it hurts my brain trying to understand the man. It's like you're supporting a system that hurts your business. I don't get it. Now you start to understand why he's not against censorship? Oh, it's because of the Stalin shit. Anyway. Another commercial. Oh. Chat, I'm suffering. How many does he need, man? It's still playing. God. To be fair, I think if you're on restricted mode, you don't get the commercials either. Because like they think you're a child and so they don't give you ads. I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
Peter Thiel, they've got tons of money and resources. They can afford the compliance. Big companies always love regulation.
Yeah, so I'm told that, well, he's a British patriot, right? Like, he doesn't want American companies to dictate to Britain. Fair enough. But, like, why aren't you building your own infrastructure then? Oh, you are. Like, BitChute was a British company, right? They regulated it out of existence. So, like, they're relying, like, they're becoming dependent on American companies. It's like literally what Germany did with the fucking gas, you know? Like, they're destroying their own gas industry. You know, their own coal power plants and all that shit. They're tearing it down. And then they make a massive pipeline to Russia. It's like, what are you doing? Right? This just doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, like, literally, the law he is supporting makes absolutely sure that you will never have British companies competing with Silicon Valley. Ever. It's impossible to comply. The law is so stupidly written and so vague and ambiguous that it's also financially crippling for anyone that makes a mistake, even if they try to comply with the regulations.
They can afford to do it. Little companies or tiny shoestring operations, like 4chan, which have only got, as far as I know, 2 employees, don't like regulation because they can't afford it. They literally don't have the manpower to do.
Yeah, how is that fair, though? How is a company supposed to grow? Is he not an economist, right? He is literally supporting state-backed monopolies. When I said that, look, I was a fan of his when he was, but like even then he was like too ANCAP for me. And I was basically saying, it's like, okay, why are you at that? Well, he doesn't like state-backed monopolies, and now he's literally supporting a legislation which children bypass anyway with Fortnite characters and Gary's mod characters, right? And he is supporting something that will make absolutely sure that Britain is never going to have its own social media, ever. Right? Like he literally says it, if you have like 2 employees, you cannot have it. And it's like, okay, how is that in your interest? Why are you for this?
Do what the British government wants. Whereas big tech do have that manpower, and they can do it. As an example, if I come out here, right, if I came onto my YouTube channel, and I just went completely off the rails, and I started, I don't know, posting lolly porn, right? Lolly is, like, anime underage porn. And I'm like, you know, actually, guys, I decided I just fucking love, you know, kiddie porn. YouTube would just take the video down straight away. They just take it down.
There's already legislation against this. Like, no one is insinuating that every single platform should be 100% free speech. Like, if you do this shit on Twitter, right? You get away with it. Why? Because it has, like, different TOS. But YouTube has different... That's not the problem, right? This is what competition is actually like. You don't want to see it, don't fucking go there. But, like, the idea that every single website on fucking planet Earth, including Wikipedia of all places, should assess to British morality. It's like, oh, well, we don't like you talking about immigration, blah, blah, blah. Right? Like the thing with YouTube, it's like, okay, so you want to post something, you can't. Okay, you got Kick, you got Twitch, you got Twitter, like, you got other things. And you're saying, no. Actually, you know, like, for instance, saying the N-word is illegal in Britain, so, like, no website on planet Earth should allow people to say the N-word. And the thing is, like, I don't even want to say it, but, like, why? And then it's privacy, right? Like, it's the idea that, well, no website should have privacy. It's like, hold on a little bit, why? Well, because British people don't like. Oh, I see.
Or if it was just like, I don't know, if I started like flashing boobies at you, okay, they'd age restrict the video. Or if the video is too violent, for example,
no, they wouldn't age restrict it. They would ban you.
Age restrict it. That is
they don't age restrict it. How long has it been on YouTube? Like, it doesn't even know the platform's policies. No, you can do that on Twitter. On YouTube, you get banned. Like, you get your channel terminated if you flash boobies. And again, like, it's fine. right? Like I'm okay. Like various platforms have different TOS. It's like okay.
The thing that the British government want 4chan to do. YouTube, because it's run by Google, can afford.
No, that's okay. Hold on a little bit, right? There is a difference between what the government, the British government wants to do, versus what they claim they want to do, right? Now, when you're looking at a government that goes after Wikipedia, that goes after Reddit and Discord and shit, I'm starting to believe that maybe it's not about the anime. You know, I find it difficult to believe that, like, here Starbucks sits there and it's like, oh my goodness, you know, that website 4chan, it's got the anime. Oh, you know, like that 17-year-old anime girl, it's too lewd. She's so fucking lewd. We can't allow that website to... No. I guarantee to you, like, even if 4chan gets rid of all the anime, Britain would still complain. Why? Because it has anonymity, because it talks about certain topics that the British government doesn't want it to be addressed. That's the real reason. Yeah, no, like, I saw Academic Agent pissing off the anime Nazis. Did you guys see that? Do you know about the anime Nazis? They're a fascinating bunch, you know? This is, like, another reason why I hate Carl Schmitt's ideology. Not hate it, it's like, I dislike it. The idea of friend-enemy, right? Like, I see the enemy Nazis, and you know what I do? I leave them the fuck alone. I don't interact with them, I don't talk with them. It's like, they're over there. It's like, okay, they contain themselves, right? Like, they're over... No, Academic Agent goes and declares anime jihad against them. And so, like, his entire timeline was filled with the stuff that he was complaining. And they were posting, like, borderline shit, like gray area so they can't get banned. And for, like, weeks, he was, like, surrounded by the anime Nazis, just, like, constantly filling his timeline with anime pornography of questionable nature. And it made him look ridiculous. And I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, look how much energy are you developing? And this is the British mindset, okay? Did he solve the problem? No, the anime Nazis are still there. Did they got some banned? Probably, but they will have burner accounts. And it's like this idea of consuming yourself, like wasting your fucking energy, and at the end of the day, not even fixing anything. Why don't you go on the internet to argue with foreigners? Like, if they have anime avatars, do you think they care about their reputation? And this is another thing, like, he never understood. Like, I saw him on Twitter, it's like, if you're a man, and you have the avatar, the anime avatar of a little girl, there is something wrong with you. Blah, 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 blah. My brother in Christ, the reason they have that type of avatar is because it's a burner account. They're basically saying they don't give a shit if they get banned, right? They probably have like 12 other accounts banned because they hold Nazi opinions. The fact that you're going after the anime, like, whatever, you know, it is what it is. But, like, the reason they put that over there is because it's funny to see a grown man sparking out while a legion of anime little girls are surrounding him like bees' nests. And you're kicking the beehive constantly, and you have, like, these anime girls, like, surrounding you while you're going in rage mode. That's why they do it. Like, you're entertainment for them. Again, like, I'm not stopping him. I'm not with them either. Like, they're not my community. But I'm trying to explain what's happening, right? Like, unlike him, I don't support. But I can observe, you know, like, a BBC documentary is going into the jungle and looking at the animals in their natural habitat. I see a grown man freaking out at the internet while random anonymous people are tormenting him. And it's like, why is this happening? Why does he have these demons? And it's like, well, he pissed them off. And I'm like, why? I don't know. Well, he doesn't like it. Like, he thinks they're a cancer on humanity. It's like, okay, did he manage to cure the tumor? No. What is he doing there? Kind of like seeing, you know, a guy that's not trained to be a doctor, like, trying to cure cancer. It's like, stop it. But yeah, no, like, it's a memory that I had with him. This was like last year or 2 years ago. Like, every now and then, I go on his Twitter and I see him at war with the anime Nazis. It's just, like, bizarre, you know? Like, I mean, it's funny to watch it from afar, but I would never want to be in that situation. Clip that, the Brown likes it. No, he doesn't like it. I'm not going to be like that. Most of the anime Nazis play Arknights. What the fuck is Arknights? Do you know, like, it's kind of funny, like, when you talk about the anime Nazis, people don't know what you're talking about, but when you describe them, they're like, oh, I saw them. It's kind of like, you know, like a person saying, oh, I saw it in the wild. But yeah, like, for those of you who don't know what the anime Nazis are, they're the people that got really pissed off with feminism, I think, like, back in 2016. And feminism was, like, really big on aesthetics. Like they were promoting aesthetics of, like, fat, ugliness. You know, like, fat is beautiful. You guys remember that shit, right? And they also ruined, like, AAA games. Like, inserting body type A, body type B characters. You know, like, they declared war on aesthetics. And a lot of people, like, moved away from Western entertainment. And they went to anime stuff, right? And so they became trolls. Like, they became antagonistic. A lot of them got banned constantly. And so, like, they had 10, 15 accounts. And so, like, yeah, like, it became an inside joke to have, like, images of Don't Bully Me, Miss Nagatoro, and all of the anime girls that looked really smug, right? Because, like, under feminism, like, you couldn't disagree with a woman, right? So now you have, like, this smug anime girl that's coming in there. It confused the leftists a lot, right? It was, like, something that became into their aesthetics. And they're called anime Nazis because they were legitimately Nazis. Like, not as an insult, but, like, they legitimately believed, right, in the ideology. Like, even using symbolism and other things. And so, like, yeah, like, they're unironically, like, nationalists, identity politics, like, all of that shit. And they're on the internet, right? But, like, why would you antagonize them? It's like kind of antagonizing the communists for no reason. It's like, is it productive? No. Now, if you're immature, you know, you're 15 years old, sure. But, like, if you're an adult, like, do you not have anything better to do? Because it's not constructive. That's the point. It's not a moral issue. It's a utilitarian issue. Like, are you solving anything? No. Okay. There's only 5 animes that aren't gay. Well, I mean, that's already 5 more than the West has, right? Like, Western entertainment doesn't have anything that's not gay. So, like, if you're telling me that there are 5 animes that aren't gay, well, that's a superior art form than the entire Western entertainment combined. There's a lot of animes that aren't gay, though. Like, how do you describe gay? Like pejorative gay, or like having gay characters?
That because they've got loads of employees and tons of money. 4chan maybe won't be able to. They literally just cannot monitor the amount of stuff that people put on there. Now, I was interested, by the way, because when I mentioned
they actually can monitor, but like, see, this is another idea. Why should they? Like why can't there be a thing on the internet that's not monitored? Now there are hotlines that monitor it. You know, like, that's a thing, right? So there are hotlines on the internet where if someone sees something illegal, they flag it, and then the hotline calls the authorities, and then the authorities subpoenas the website, and they arrest the person. Like, the system can work without companies raising our children for us. I'm just saying. You have parental controls. Like, if you legitimately don't want your kid to go on 4chan, you can install a parental control on his device. Like, come on, it's 2025. Like, there's no reason to have excuses. From what I know, it's like, no, like, 4chan doesn't have, like, illegal stuff. Because if it did, like, it would actually have people arrested. No, 4chan is a honeypot. Like, everyone knows that, right? Like, there's the FBI there and shit. I mean, if there is illegal stuff, it's because the FBI put it there. Or at least saw it and allowed it to exist.
in the last video, hundreds of comments. Some people...
But yeah, no, like, the whole thing is like he's claiming that the British government said it is, right? I'm sorry, I don't believe that. They go after Wikipedia. You know? Like if you have a person that's on trial, and you have like a judge and a jury, and the person says, oh, we're going to try to protect children. Okay, what'd you do? I went after Wikipedia. That's the end of the conversation. It's not a trustworthy source. I'm sorry. The British government in 2025 is not a trustworthy source. You arrest people more than Russia. You think that your flag is problematic. Your own national flag, you're embarrassed with it. Like, I'm not going to take their word. I'm sorry. Maybe that's the problem, you know? Like, they saw on 4chan, the English flag. They thought it's porn.
Paul said, yes, true, you go on 4chan and literally people drop porn in all the time. Some of it really quite disgusting, some of it underage.
Don't you actually not get that? Like, I haven't been on 4chan in a while, but like from my knowledge, they don't. It's based on the board, and most boards don't even allow porn. Again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know 4chan. Look, I used to go there, right? But I haven't gone there in years. So the only thing I know is that it's become like Reddit used to be in 2018.
Other people said, actually, it's not true. The moderators removed that stuff straight away. There is no such thing on 4chan. Okay, now I don't go on 4chan. I don't know what the truth is. All I know
Okay, well, you know that the British government never lies, so...
is that some people are saying it's there, other people are saying it's not. What the British government want...
No, this is... come on. Like, this is unacceptable. It's worse than the quartering. Like, I never thought I would see something like this. But listen, academic agent, right? Like, this is why I don't like Carl Schmitt. I will tell you something for free, right? Like, theoretically, you're supposed to be enemy. I'm not supposed to give you advice. Drop the commercials and you're going to get more people watching. Like, if I was watching this video outside of the stream, I would stop watching by now. And it's not like there's like a mental block against commercials and I decide, oh yeah, I'm going... No. It doesn't work that way. Like when it becomes too annoying, like subconsciously you shut it down. Like, you don't even realize when your hand reaches the mouse and clicks the X button. Some blue boards allow Eki. Well, yeah, so like Eki under British government is porn? Because I don't know now. Like, okay, so if they see a pantsu, like that's pornography? According to the Brits? Because like yeah, if like people use different... like, for me, porn is penetration, right? Or at least nudity. But like if like even a pantsu or like some low tier anime humor is now pornography according to the British government, then why should Americans follow their definitions? Oh my goodness. How many ads are we going to see? I'm gonna stop watching at the next one.
Yes, we're going to levy fines on you until such a time as we actually ban you outright, free of that sort of stuff. And what they said, as I told you, is that if you don't do this, we're going to levy fines on you until such a time as we actually ban you outright, using that as a pretext to ban 4chan outright, or until such a time as you actually comply, in which case. So what is the purpose of doing the fines? What is the purpose of doing it that way, rather than unilaterally just banning 4chan, okay?
I am dying to hear why the British government wants to steal money from American companies. I will tell you why, though, okay? Like, this is my cynical European take, is that the British government is incapable of having its own social media, so they're taxing the American one. That's literally it. Okay, that's what the European Union did, the Digital Protection Act, the GDPR. Literally that, right? Like, they want to fine American companies. That's it. No other reason. But let's hear academics agent take on why they tried to fine 4chan $20,000.
The reason they're doing it that way is because they're giving 4chan a chance to show that they can be trusted, to show that they can be worked with.
Oh my god, the level of compassion. Holy shit.
Like, that's why they do it. From their own point of view, if the British government just said, right, 4chan's banned, it would be a different sort of, there'd be a public outcry that they were being tyrannical.
There already is a public outcry.
So what they're doing is, they're creating a trail.
My brother in Christ, why are you making this video? Because there is a public outcry. You want to see the public outcry? Okay, I'll show you the fucking public outcry. Jesus Christ. Look. Look. Where the fuck is it? Hold on. Look. Look. This is your God. He's complaining about the public outcry, right? He's basically saying, oh, we're going to have a public outcry. If we don't find them, if our compassion doesn't show that we're willing to work with them, we just ban them, there's going to be a public outcry. This is your fucking public outcry. Your own fucking video. These are your subscribers, not mine. Why are you making this video? Because you got a public outcry. Oh no, Keir Starmer would never, he would never allow a public outcry. He cares about his people and what they think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, like the only reason that they are fining 4chan is because they're doing what the European Union is doing. Like, Britain is incapable of having its own social media, right? We saw with Bishop and many others. Like, they can't have it. And so they're taxing the American social media. That's what's going on. And the European Union is doing the same. And like, if there ever comes a time, heaven forbid, that the American companies just region block the UK, you guys are fucked. And it happened, by the way, with Canada, and it happened with Australia, and immediately the government balked. Because it's destabilizing to the economy. Like, it's so integrated that, yeah, like, if Google was to region block the UK, you guys are fucked. And so, like, what you do is you find these companies, right? And it's not, oh, we want to see if they're workable, and no. And why do they need to be workable? Like, again, 4chan is in the United States. Anyway, right, it is what it is. Yeah, literally, like, some people may complain. I think I'll end it here. It's just way too late, and I think like I've heard enough arguments. But yes, this one made my day. The reason Britain is fining 4chan is because they want to see if they can be worked with, and if they wouldn't fight it and they would just ban it like they did with other websites, like they did with Russia Today, or like they did with other websites on the internet, and like nothing stopping them from keep doing it, well, we'll have a public outcry. Like last time there was a public outcry in Britain, as far as I remember, they arrested people over social media posts. And they demanded that Twitter keeps them up to date on the two-tier Keir protests. Right? You guys remember that? Yeah, they're really big on public outcries. I mean, imagine if someone made a petition asking the government to step down. Or imagine if someone made a petition asking Ofcom to be repealed. Sorry, the online safety bill to be repealed, right? Can you imagine? I mean, they would probably immediately back down, because like they don't like public outcries. React to the part about me, right? The fuck did he say about me? I think like the one thing that he said about me is the one that makes sense, which is that 4chan is not banned in the UK. I've been told that it is. Apparently it's not, so I apologize. Okay, I spread harmful disinformation. I do think that if the UK doesn't like it, they should ban it. The other part that he said about me was Carl Schmitt, and I discussed it already, right? And the fact that I just want to grill and I want to be left alone. I don't think he understands, right? It's like when I want to be left alone, it doesn't mean that I'm inactive. It doesn't mean that I'm apolitical. It simply means that right now I would ally with literally Satan if it means fucking with people that are supporting this legislation. Purely out of spite, right? If Anita Sarkeesian comes up and goes like, V, if you support me, I will make a video and tarnish the name of academic agent. I'll be, Anita, where do I sign up? Okay? And tomorrow, if Anita Sarkeesian was doing something that I don't like, an academic agent came to me and be like, V, I'm going to destroy Anita's reputation. Give me money. I'll be like, sure, academic. Where do I give money? Right? That's how I think. I make people's lives absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable. Why? Because they make my life miserable. He basically says that, well, V doesn't like having people telling him what to do. It's not about that, right? Like, it's one thing when my family tells me what to do. It's one thing when my wife or someone that knows me and is compassionate about me. It's another thing entirely when someone from over the pond that thinks their national flag is an embarrassment tries to tell me what to do. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't, like, why should I do what you're doing? Why should the entire human race follow in your footsteps? Like, do you think you're literally that educated that, like, you have all the answers? No. Okay. Well, it is what it is. Yeah, I would absolutely ally with Hitler over Stalin and Stalin over Hitler. Yeah, no, like hypothetically speaking, I have absolutely no problems in doing what America did. You know, they were big friends with Hitler. They even had Zeppelins, and they put his name in Time magazine, and then they allied with the communists against him. Fucking base, played both sides. Good for them. Anyway. I would be fine with the Brits turning into European isolationist Japan. No, they went full safety. Like you can't become isolationist if you're full safety. Kiwi Farms is blocked in the UK. Okay, now it makes sense. Did they block it? Because I think like they blocked it, and for a while it stayed blocked, and then they unblocked it. Is there anyone in the UK now? Because I'm genuinely curious to know if you can access or not Kiwi Farms. Check the DMs? No, I'm not checking anything. I'm actually going to bed. Thank you for watching though, and hopefully you enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you guys